The sun was setting behind the small chapel nestled on a hill, casting golden rays over the happy guests gathered outside. The air buzzed with excitement as people hugged each other, congratulating the newlyweds and sharing stories about how perfect the day had been. Inside the chapel, Emily and Daniel stood hand in hand at the altar, their eyes locked together like they were the only two people in the world. The officiant's voice echoed softly through the room as he guided them through their vows. Each word they spoke carried so much emotion that it brought tears to the eyes of everyone watching. Friends dabbed at their cheeks with tissues, while family members exchanged knowing glances, silently agreeing that this couple was truly meant to be. When the officiant finally pronounced them husband and wife, the room erupted into applause. Emily and Daniel kissed, sealing their promise to each other with a moment so full of love that it felt almost sacred. They walked down the aisle together, holding hands tightly, ready to step into a future filled with dreams they'd built side by side. Outside, the reception area had been transformed into a magical wonderland. Twinkling fairy lights hung above long tables adorned with white linens and fresh flowers. A gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming roses, mixing with the sound of laughter and clinking glasses. The atmosphere was warm and inviting, just like the couple themselves. As the celebration began, speeches poured in from friends and family, each one painting a vivid picture of Emily and Daniel's journey together. Their best man recounted the story of how they first met, by chance at a bustling coffee shop downtown. Emily had dropped her wallet, and Daniel, ever the gentleman, picked it up and returned it to her. What started as a simple thank you turned into hours of conversation, and by the end of the day, neither wanted to say goodbye. From there, their relationship blossomed. They went on countless dates, explored new places, and supported each other through life's ups and downs. Every challenge only made them stronger, proving time and again that their bond was unbreakable. Guests nodded along as another friend took the microphone, reminiscing about how Emily and Daniel always seemed to radiate happiness wherever they went. Whether it was volunteering at local shelters or helping elderly neighbors carry groceries, they had a way of making everyone feel valued and loved. Their kindness wasn't forced. It came naturally, as if they couldn't imagine living any other way. People often joked that being around them was like basking in sunlight. It warmed your heart and lifted your spirits. Tonight, surrounded by those who cared about them most, the couple looked happier than ever. They laughed as they cut the wedding cake, feeding each other bites with playful grins. Cheers rang out when they shared their first dance as husband and wife, swaying gently under the stars. But even as the festivities reached their peak, something ominous loomed beneath the surface. Unbeknownst to anyone, danger lay hidden underground, a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. Beneath the property where the reception was held ran an old gas pipeline, neglected for years due to budget cuts and poor maintenance. Over time, corrosion had weakened its structure, creating cracks that allowed gas to seep out unnoticed. No one smelled anything unusual. No alarms sounded to warn of the impending disaster. Everything seemed normal, almost too perfect, which made the tragedy that followed all the more shocking. Just 30 minutes after Emily and Daniel exchanged rings, a deafening explosion shattered the peaceful evening. The ground trembled violently, sending chairs toppling and tables crashing to the floor. Flames shot skyward, consuming everything in their path. Panic spread like wildfire as guests scrambled to escape the chaos. Screams filled the air, mingling with the crackle of fire and the acrid smell of smoke. Amid the confusion, one horrifying realization became clear. Emily and Daniel were nowhere to be seen. They had been standing near the entrance, posing for photos with their bridal party when the blast occurred. The force of the explosion threw debris in every direction, leaving devastation in its wake. Emergency responders arrived within minutes, sirens wailing as they raced against time to save lives. Firefighters battled the inferno, dousing flames with torrents of water while paramedics tended to the injured. Guests huddled together, some clutching wounds, others sobbing uncontrollably. As the dust settled, investigators combed through the wreckage, searching for answers. It didn't take long for them to uncover the source of the catastrophe. The ruptured gas pipeline, long overdue for inspection, had leaked fuel into the surrounding area. When someone started a car parked nearby, the sparks from the engine ignited the gas, triggering the massive explosion. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community, leaving everyone grappling with the harsh reality of what had happened. For Emily and Daniel, there was no second chance. Despite the heroic efforts of first responders, they succumbed to their injuries shortly after the blast. News of their death spread quickly, plunging the gathering into profound grief. Survivors struggled to process the sudden loss of two people who had brought so much light into their lives. One moment they were celebrating a joyous occasion, the next, they were mourning a heartbreaking tragedy. The contrast was unbearable, leaving many questioning how fate could be so cruel. How could such a beautiful day turn into such a nightmare? In the days that followed, tributes poured in from all corners of the community. Candles flickered outside the chapel where Emily and Daniel had exchanged vows, creating a makeshift memorial illuminated by soft, golden light. Flowers piled high beside framed photographs of the couple, capturing moments of pure happiness frozen in time. Neighbors shared stories of their generosity and compassion, recalling times when Emily and Daniel had gone out of their way to help others. Even strangers joined in paying respects, moved by the sheer senselessness of their deaths. Social media platforms overflowed with posts honoring their memory, hashtags trending as people vowed to keep their legacy alive. Plans for a formal memorial service took shape almost immediately, spearheaded by close friends determined to celebrate the lives of the couple rather than dwell solely on their untimely passing. Speeches highlighted not only their love for each other, but also their impact on the world around them. Photographs projected onto a large screen showed candid snapshots of Emily and Daniel laughing, traveling, and embracing life with open arms. Music played softly in the background, melodies chosen specifically because they reminded everyone of the joy the couple brought into their lives. Though tears flowed freely throughout the ceremony, there was also laughter, a testament to the indelible mark Emily and Daniel left behind. Yet amidst the sorrow, anger simmered beneath the surface. Questions lingered about how such a preventable tragedy could occur. Local authorities launched a thorough investigation into the gas pipeline responsible for the explosion. Reports revealed alarming details: years of neglect, insufficient inspections, and blatant disregard for safety protocols. Residents demanded accountability, organizing protests outside City Hall and calling for stricter regulations to ensure nothing like this would happen again. Lawyers representing the victims' families filed lawsuits against the utility company, seeking justice for Emily and Daniel. Lawmakers promised reforms, vowing to prioritize public safety over profit margins. For those grieving, these actions offered little solace, but they provided a glimmer of hope that meaningful change might come from unimaginable loss. As weeks turned into months, the pain remained raw, but life slowly began to move forward. Emily and Daniel's families found comfort in creating a foundation in their name, dedicated to helping young couples plan their futures without fear of unforeseen dangers. Scholarships were established for students pursuing careers in public safety and engineering, fields crucial to preventing accidents like the one that claimed their lives. Every year on the anniversary of the wedding, friends and family gathered to honor their memory, releasing lanterns into the night sky as symbols of hope. Though their time together was brief, Emily and Daniel's legacy endured, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, love can inspire lasting change. The explosion that tore through the wedding reception left a scar on everyone present, a wound so deep it seemed impossible to heal. In the moments after the blast, chaos reigned supreme. Smoke billowed into the sky, thick and black, obscuring the stars that had twinkled so brightly just minutes before. The once beautiful fairy lights were now shattered, their twinkling replaced by the harsh glow of flames consuming the tent. Guests stumbled around in shock, coughing from the smoke and clutching at their ears as if trying to block out the echoes of the explosion still ringing in their minds. Some screamed for help, others called out names, desperately searching for loved ones amidst the wreckage. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare, one no one could have ever imagined happening on such a joyous day. Emergency responders arrived quickly, their flashing lights cutting through the haze of destruction. Firefighters worked tirelessly to contain the inferno, dousing flames with powerful jets of water while paramedics rushed to tend to the injured. People lay scattered across the grounds, some bleeding, others unconscious, and a few too stunned to move. The air was filled with cries of pain and anguish, the kind of sounds that pierce your soul and stay with you forever. Amid the chaos, investigators began piecing together what had happened. Their initial findings pointed to a gas leak. An old pipeline running beneath the property had ruptured unexpectedly. The buildup of gas had found its way into the engine of a car parked near the entrance, igniting a catastrophic explosion. As details emerged, the reality of the situation hit like a second blow. Emily and Daniel, the newlyweds whose love story had inspired everyone, were standing closest to the blast when it occurred. Despite the frantic efforts of first responders, there was nothing anyone could do to save them. Emily and Daniel's bodies were recovered from the debris, their faces frozen in expressions of shock and fear. News of their deaths spread rapidly among the shaken survivors, sending waves of disbelief and grief crashing over the crowd. Friends collapsed into each other's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Family members wailed, unable to comprehend how such a perfect day could end in such devastation. Even those who hadn't known the couple personally felt the weight of the tragedy deeply. Here were two people who had radiated kindness and joy, whose future had been brimming with promise. And now, in an instant, they were gone. The unfairness of it all was overwhelming, leaving everyone struggling to make sense of the senseless. In the days that followed, the community came together to mourn the loss of Emily and Daniel. Memorials sprang up outside the chapel where they had exchanged vows, candles flickering softly in the night. Flowers piled high beside photographs of the smiling couple, capturing moments of pure happiness frozen in time. Neighbors gathered to share stories of their generosity and compassion, recalling times when Emily and Daniel had gone out of their way to help others. Whether it was volunteering at local shelters, organizing fundraisers for families in need, or simply offering a listening ear, they had always been there for people. Their absence left a void that felt impossible to fill, but their memory served as a beacon of hope during dark times. Social media buzzed with tributes, strangers joining in to honor two souls who had touched so many lives in such a short time. Posts flooded platforms, hashtags trending as people vowed to keep their legacy alive. Some shared photos of Emily and Daniel from past events, picnics, charity drives, holiday parties, each image a testament to the joy they brought wherever they went. Others wrote heartfelt messages about the impact they'd had on their lives, describing them as the kindest people I've ever met, or a true inspiration. The outpouring of love and support was overwhelming, proof that even in death, Emily and Daniel continued to bring people together. Plans for a formal memorial service took shape almost immediately, spearheaded by close friends determined to celebrate the lives of the couple rather than dwell solely on their untimely passing. Speeches highlighted not only their love for each other, but also their impact on the world around them. Photographs projected onto a large screen showed candid snapshots of Emily and Daniel laughing, traveling, and embracing life with open arms. Music played softly in the background, melodies chosen specifically because they reminded everyone of the joy the couple brought into their lives. Though tears flowed freely throughout the ceremony, there was also laughter, a testament to the indelible mark Emily and Daniel left behind. Yet amidst the sorrow, anger simmered beneath the surface. Questions lingered about how such a preventable tragedy could occur. Local authorities launched a thorough investigation into the gas pipeline responsible for the explosion. Reports revealed alarming details: years of neglect, insufficient inspections, and blatant disregard for safety protocols. Residents demanded accountability, organizing protests outside City Hall and calling for stricter regulations to ensure nothing like this would happen again. Lawyers representing the victims' families filed lawsuits against the utility company, seeking justice for Emily and Daniel. Lawmakers promised reforms, vowing to prioritize public safety over profit margins. For those grieving, These actions offered little solace, but they provided a glimmer of hope that meaningful change might come from unimaginable loss. As weeks turned into months, the pain remained raw, but life slowly began to move forward. Emily and Daniel's families channeled their grief into creating a foundation in their name, dedicated to helping young couples plan their futures without fear of unforeseen dangers. Scholarships were established for students pursuing careers in public safety and engineering, fields crucial to preventing accidents like the one that claimed their lives. Every year on the anniversary of the wedding, friends and family gathered to honor their memory, releasing lanterns into the night sky as symbols of hope. The sight of hundreds of glowing lights rising into the darkness was breathtaking, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, love can inspire lasting change. For Emily and Daniel's parents, coping with the loss was a daily struggle. They often found themselves replaying memories of their children, clinging to every laugh, every hug, every moment spent together. On quiet nights, they would sit side by side, flipping through photo albums or watching videos of Emily and Daniel's happiest moments. Sometimes they laughed until tears streamed down their faces. Other times they cried until exhaustion took over. Through it all, they held on to the belief that their children's legacy would live on, not just in the foundation they created or the scholarships awarded in their names, but in the countless lives they touched along the way. Friends of Emily and Daniel also grappled with their absence, finding comfort in small reminders of their presence. A favorite song playing on the radio, a stray comment about coffee shops, or even a random act of kindness could trigger a flood of memories. These moments were bittersweet, bringing both smiles and tears. Yet they served as a reminder that Emily and Daniel's spirit endured, woven into the fabric of everyday life. Their love story, though tragically cut short, became a source of inspiration, a call to cherish every moment and never take anything for granted. As the seasons changed, so did the way people remembered Emily and Daniel. What started as raw grief gradually transformed into gratitude for the time they shared, the lessons they taught, and the love they embodied. Their story became a catalyst for action, prompting communities to demand better safeguards and hold corporations accountable for negligence. It sparked conversations about the importance of prioritizing human life over profits, ensuring that tragedies like this would not be repeated. And while nothing could ever replace the void left by their deaths, their legacy lived on, in the hearts of those who loved them, in the causes they championed, and in the hope that their story would inspire others to build a safer, kinder world. The aftermath of the explosion left a deep and lasting impact on everyone who had been present that fateful evening. The once vibrant wedding venue, now reduced to charred remains, served as a haunting reminder of how quickly joy could turn into tragedy. For days, investigators combed through the wreckage, piecing together clues to understand what went wrong. They discovered that the gas pipeline running beneath the property was decades old, its metal walls corroded and weakened by years of neglect. Regular inspections had been skipped due to budget cuts, and warnings about potential risks had gone unheeded. It was a sobering revelation, one that painted a picture of systemic failure and corporate indifference. The utility company responsible for maintaining the pipeline faced mounting criticism, with residents demanding answers and accountability. Word spread about the cause of the explosion. Outrage rippled through the community. People couldn't believe that something so preventable had claimed the lives of two young people, just beginning their journey together. Protests erupted outside City Hall, with families holding up signs bearing Emily and Daniel's names. Justice for Emily and Daniel became a rallying cry, echoing through streets filled with mourners determined to see change. Lawyers representing the victims' families filed lawsuits against the utility company, accusing them of gross negligence. Lawmakers were forced to confront the issue head-on, promising stricter regulations and harsher penalties for companies failing to prioritize public safety. Yet for those grieving, these promises felt hollow compared to the magnitude of their loss. Nothing could bring Emily and Daniel back. In the weeks following the tragedy, Emily and Daniel's families struggled to navigate life without them. Every morning brought a fresh wave of grief, a painful reminder of the void they left behind. Their parents often found themselves staring at photos of happier times, family vacations, holiday gatherings, and quiet moments spent around the dinner table. These images offered fleeting comfort but also reopened wounds that never fully healed. On nights when sleep eluded them, they would sit together in silence, listening to voicemails or reading old text messages from their children. Each recording carried a piece of Emily and Daniel's personalities, their laughter, their warmth, their boundless optimism. These fragments of memory became treasures, cherished more than ever. Friends of Emily and Daniel also wrestled with their absence, finding it hard to reconcile the vibrant couple they knew with the cruel twist of fate that took them away. Some tried to distract themselves by throwing themselves into work or hobbies, hoping to numb the pain. Others sought solace in small rituals like visiting the coffee shop where Emily and Daniel first met, or planting trees in their honor. One friend started a tradition of leaving handwritten notes at the site of the explosion, sharing stories about how Emily and Daniel had touched their lives. Over time, these notes formed a makeshift memorial, a testament to the love and admiration people still felt for the couple. Though the grief lingered, these acts of remembrance helped keep their spirits alive. To honor Emily and Daniel's legacy, their families decided to create a foundation dedicated to preventing similar tragedies. Named after the couple, the Emily and Daniel Foundation focused on raising awareness about infrastructure safety and advocating for stronger regulations. Its mission was twofold: to educate communities about the dangers of aging pipelines and to provide resources for organizations working towards safer environments. The foundation also established scholarships for students pursuing careers in engineering, public safety, and environmental science, fields critical to addressing issues like the one that led to the explosion. By channeling their heartbreak into action, Emily and Daniel's loved ones hoped to ensure that no other family would endure the same pain they had experienced. Every year on the anniversary of the wedding, friends and family gathered to celebrate Emily and Daniel's lives. The event, held at a local park, featured lantern releases, speeches, and music that reflected the couple's shared passions. Hundreds of glowing lights floated upward into the night sky, carrying messages of love and hope. Children ran around, laughing while adults embraced sharing stories and memories. Despite the underlying sadness, there was an undeniable sense of unity, a feeling that Emily and Daniel's love continued to connect people long after they were gone. The gathering wasn't just a memorial, it was a celebration of resilience, a reminder that even in the face of unimaginable loss, life goes on. For some, healing came slowly, marked by small victories over despair. A mother who hadn't cooked since losing her son began baking his favorite recipes again, filling her home with familiar scents. A father who had avoided driving past the chapel where the wedding took place finally mustered the courage to visit, leaving flowers at the steps. Others found strength in unexpected places, a stranger's kind words, a random act of generosity, or even the changing seasons. Spring arrived with bursts of color, symbolizing renewal and growth. Summer brought warmth and light, reminding everyone of the couple's radiant personalities. Autumn painted the world in hues of orange and gold, evoking memories of cozy evenings spent together. Winter blanketed everything in snow, offering a quiet stillness that allowed for reflection and peace. Despite the passage of time, certain triggers could still send people spiraling back into grief. Hearing a song Emily and Daniel danced to at their reception might reduce someone to tears. Walking past a coffee shop reminiscent of where they first met could stir up bittersweet nostalgia. But these moments, though painful, also highlighted the depth of their connection. Emily and Daniel weren't just remembered for the tragedy that ended their lives. They were celebrated for the love and joy they brought into the world during their short time here. Their story became a beacon of hope, inspiring others to cherish relationships, advocate for change, and live fully in the present. In the broader community, the tragedy sparked meaningful conversations about accountability and responsibility. Schools incorporated lessons about infrastructure safety into their curriculums, teaching students the importance of vigilance and advocacy. Local governments implemented stricter inspection protocols, ensuring that pipelines and other critical Systems received regular maintenance. Utility companies faced increased scrutiny, with many adopting transparent practices to rebuild trust with the public. While progress was slow, the changes gave grieving families a sense of purpose, knowing that Emily and Daniel's deaths hadn't been in vain. Their sacrifice had ignited a movement, one that prioritized human life over profit and convenience. Even strangers touched by the couple's story found ways to contribute. Social media campaigns encouraged people to perform acts of kindness, in Emily and Daniel's name, spreading positivity and goodwill. Volunteers organized fundraisers to support the foundation's initiatives, raising thousands of dollars to fund scholarships and awareness programs. Artists created murals and sculptures inspired by the couple's love, turning public spaces into tributes to their memory. Musicians wrote songs capturing the essence of their bond, melodies that resonated deeply with listeners. Through these collective efforts, Emily and Daniel's influence extended far beyond their immediate circle, touching lives across generations and geographies. Though the pain of their loss remained ever present, those who loved Emily and Daniel found comfort in knowing that their legacy endured. Their story served as a powerful reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. It challenged people to be better, to love more deeply, to fight harder for justice, and to build a world where tragedies like this wouldn't happen again. And while nothing could erase the heartache of losing such remarkable individuals, their memory lived on, in the hearts of those who loved them, in the causes they championed, and in the countless lives they inspired to make a difference. Emily and Daniel may have been taken too soon, but their love story continued to shine brightly, lighting the way for others to follow. The foundation created in Emily and Daniel's name quickly gained momentum, becoming a beacon of hope for communities grappling with similar tragedies. Its mission resonated deeply with people across the country, drawing attention not only to the dangers of neglected infrastructure, but also to the broader need for systemic change. Volunteers poured in from all walks of life, engineers eager to lend their expertise, activists passionate about public safety, and ordinary citizens moved by the couple's story. Together, they worked tirelessly to raise awareness about the risks posed by aging pipelines, faulty electrical grids, and other overlooked systems that could endanger lives. Workshops were organized, educational materials distributed, and partnerships forged with local governments to push for stricter regulations. The Foundation's efforts weren't just about preventing future disasters. They were about honoring Emily and Daniel's memory by ensuring their deaths would lead to meaningful action. One of the Foundation's most impactful initiatives was its scholarship program, designed to support students pursuing careers in fields critical to public safety. Each year, dozens of scholarships were awarded to aspiring engineers, environmental scientists, and first responders who shared Emily and Daniel's commitment to making the world a safer place. Recipients often spoke of feeling inspired by the couple's legacy, vowing to carry forward their values of kindness, hard work, and dedication. For many families, these scholarships provided much-needed financial relief, allowing young people to pursue their dreams without being burdened by debt. At annual award ceremonies, tears flowed freely as recipients expressed gratitude, not just for the funding, but for the opportunity to contribute to a cause greater than themselves. It was clear that Emily and Daniel's influence extended far beyond their immediate community, touching lives in ways they could never have imagined. As the Foundation grew, so did the number of stories shared by those whose lives it had touched. A young woman named Sarah, one of the first scholarship recipients, went on to intern at a leading engineering firm specializing in pipeline safety. She credited the Foundation with giving her the tools and confidence to pursue her passion, saying, "Emily and Daniel didn't just inspire me, they gave me a purpose." Another recipient, a firefighter named Marcus, used his training to save lives during a natural gas leak emergency, preventing what could have been another catastrophic explosion. Stories like these became testaments to the ripple effect of the couple's legacy, showing how one act of love and remembrance could spark countless others. Each success story reinforced the belief that even in the face of unimaginable loss, positive change was possible. Meanwhile, the legal battle against the utility company responsible for the pipeline disaster dragged on, keeping the tragedy in the public eye. Lawyers representing Emily and Daniel's families presented damning evidence of negligence, including internal documents showing the company had ignored warnings about the pipeline's deteriorating condition. Witnesses testified about budget cuts and shortcuts taken to maximize profits, painting a damning picture of corporate greed over human life. Public outrage grew as details emerged, fueling calls for accountability and reform. Protesters gathered, outside courtrooms holding signs that read "Never Again" and "Justice for All," their voices echoing through city streets. Though the process was long and emotionally draining, the families remained steadfast, determined to see justice served, not just for Emily and Daniel, but for everyone affected by similar tragedies. In addition to the lawsuits, lawmakers began drafting new legislation aimed at preventing future disasters. Committees held hearings to examine the root causes of infrastructure failures, inviting experts to testify about best practices and emerging technologies. One proposal called for mandatory inspections of all pipelines older than 20 years, while another sought to impose hefty fines on companies failing to comply with safety standards. The bills faced resistance from industry lobbyists, who argued that such measures would be too costly, but public pressure ensured they remained a priority. Lawmakers often cited Emily and Daniel's story when advocating for the reforms, emphasizing the human cost of inaction. Their names became synonymous with the fight for safer communities, inspiring legislators to prioritize policies that protected lives over profits. Back in the small town where Emily and Daniel had grown up, their absence continued to be felt deeply. Friends and family members found comfort in small rituals, creating traditions that kept their memory alive. Every year on the anniversary of the explosion, volunteers gathered to clean up a local park where the couple had once spent lazy afternoons, picnicking. Trees were planted in their honor, each one marked with a plaque bearing a quote or memory from their lives. Neighbors hosted bake sales and charity drives, donating proceeds to the foundation. These acts of kindness fostered a sense of unity, reminding everyone that while grief might isolate individuals, it could also bring communities closer together. For Emily and Daniel's parents, coping with the loss remained an ongoing journey. Some days were easier than others, filled with moments of laughter and reflection. On quieter days, sadness lingered, creeping in during unexpected moments. A song on the radio, a stray comment about weddings, or even the sight of a couple holding hands. Yet they found strength in knowing that their children's legacy lived on, not just in the foundation or the scholarships, but in the countless lives they had touched along the way. Their home became a sanctuary of memories, walls adorned with photos and mementos that told the story of two extraordinary individuals. Visitors often remarked on the warmth and love that permeated the space, a testament to the enduring bond between parent and child. Even strangers touched by Emily and Daniel's story found ways to contribute, turning their grief into action. Social media campaigns encouraged people to perform random acts of kindness in the couple's name, spreading positivity and goodwill. One viral challenge asked participants to share stories of how they had helped someone in need, tagging posts with "Live like Emily and Daniel." Thousands joined in, posting heartwarming anecdotes about paying for a stranger's meal, volunteering at shelters, or simply offering a listening ear. Artists created murals and sculptures inspired by the couple's love, transforming public spaces into tributes to their memory. Musicians wrote songs capturing the essence of their bond, melodies that resonated deeply with listeners. Through these collective efforts, Emily and Daniel's influence extended far beyond their immediate circle, touching lives across generations and geographies. As time passed, the couple's story took on a life of its own, becoming a symbol of resilience and hope. Schools incorporated lessons about infrastructure safety into their curriculums, teaching students the importance of vigilance and advocacy. Teachers used Emily and Daniel's story to illustrate the real-world consequences of neglect, encouraging young minds to think critically about the systems that shaped their daily lives. Students responded with enthusiasm, organizing fundraisers and awareness campaigns within their schools. One group of high schoolers even launched a podcast series exploring issues related to public safety, interviewing experts and sharing insights with their peers. Their project won national recognition, further amplifying the message of accountability and responsibility. Despite the progress made, the pain of losing Emily and Daniel never fully disappeared. Anniversaries, holidays, and milestones continued to stir up emotions, forcing loved ones to confront the reality of their absence. But amidst the sorrow, there was also gratitude for the time they had shared, the lessons they had taught, and the love they had embodied. Their story challenged people to be better, to love more deeply, to fight harder for justice, and to build a world where tragedies like this wouldn't happen again. And while nothing could erase the heartache of losing such remarkable individuals, their memory lived on, in the hearts of those who loved them, in the causes they championed, and in the countless lives they inspired to make a difference. Emily and Daniel may have been taken too soon, but their love story continued to shine brightly, lighting the way for others to follow. Through it all, the foundation remained a source of solace and inspiration, proving that even in the darkest moments, light could emerge. Its work reminded everyone involved that while death may end a life, it does not end a relationship. The bonds we form with those we love endure, shaping us in ways we may not fully understand until we're called upon to honor their memory. For Emily and Daniel's family and friends, this truth was both a comfort and a call to action, a reminder that though they were gone, their legacy would live forever. The 5th anniversary of Emily and Daniel's wedding was marked by a gathering that felt both celebratory and somber, a testament to the enduring impact of their lives. Friends, family, and even strangers came together at the park where the annual lantern release had become a cherished tradition. The air buzzed with quiet conversations as people shared stories about how Emily and Daniel had inspired them over the years. Some spoke of personal challenges they'd overcome because of the couple's example. Others recounted moments when acts of kindness done in their name had changed someone's day or life for the better. As dusk settled, hundreds of glowing lanterns rose into the sky, each carrying messages written on tiny slips of paper. "Thank you for teaching us to love," read one. "Your legacy will never fade," said another. These words, simple yet profound, reflected the deep connection people still felt to Emily and Daniel. In the years since the tragedy, the foundation bearing their names had grown exponentially, becoming a national force for change. Its initiatives expanded beyond scholarships and awareness campaigns to include community-building projects aimed at fostering resilience and unity. One such project involved transforming vacant lots in underserved neighborhoods into vibrant green spaces equipped with playgrounds, gardens, and walking paths. Dubbed Emily and Daniel Parks, these areas served as hubs for local engagement, bringing neighbors together for picnics, festivals, and volunteer days. Children played under colorful murals depicting scenes from nature, flowers blooming, birds flying, and trees swaying in harmony, all symbols of growth and renewal inspired by the couple's story. For many residents, these parks became sanctuaries, places where they could escape the stresses of daily life and find solace in beauty, created through collective effort. The scholarship program remained one of the foundation's most impactful endeavors, providing opportunities for students whose dreams aligned with its mission. Each year, recipients gathered for a ceremony held in Emily and Daniel's honor, sharing updates on their progress and expressing gratitude for the support they'd received. Many credited the scholarships with opening doors that might otherwise have remained closed. A young engineer named Mia, who had been awarded her scholarship during the program's inaugural year, now led a team developing innovative solutions for detecting pipeline leaks before they caused harm. Her work earned recognition from major industry groups, and she often spoke publicly about how Emily and Daniel's story motivated her to push boundaries and think creatively. "They remind me every day why I do what I do," she said during an interview. "Their memory is my guiding light." Meanwhile, legal battles against the utility company responsible for the pipeline disaster finally reached a resolution. After years of hearings, appeals, and negotiations, the court ruled in favor of the victims' families, ordering the company to pay substantial damages and implement sweeping reforms. The ruling sent shockwaves through the corporate world, sending a clear message that negligence would no longer be tolerated. News outlets covered the verdict extensively, highlighting how Emily and Daniel's case had sparked widespread calls for accountability. Protesters outside courthouses cheered as the decision was announced, chanting slogans like, "Justice prevails" and "Safety first." Though the outcome couldn't undo the pain caused by the explosion, it offered a measure of closure to those who had fought tirelessly for justice. Lawmakers seized the momentum generated by the trial to push forward with legislative reforms aimed at preventing future disasters. Bills requiring regular inspections of aging infrastructure passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, signaling a shift in priorities toward safeguarding public welfare. Committees tasked with monitoring compliance were established, ensuring companies adhered to new standards or faced severe penalties. Public awareness campaigns accompanied these efforts, educating citizens about the importance of reporting suspicious odors or unusual activity near pipelines and power lines. Posters featuring Emily and Daniel's smiling faces appeared in schools, libraries, and community centers, urging people to stay vigilant and take action if needed. Their images became synonymous with safety, inspiring countless individuals to prioritize protection over convenience. Back in the small town where Emily and Daniel had grown up, their presence continued to shape the fabric of everyday life. Local businesses displayed plaques honoring their contributions to the community, while schools integrated lessons about their story into curriculums focused on civic responsibility. Teachers encouraged students to reflect on how they could embody the couple's values of kindness, compassion, and determination. Projects ranged from organizing food drives to creating art installations, celebrating themes of love and resilience. One particularly moving piece, a mural painted by high school seniors, depicted two intertwined hearts surrounded by flowers, with the caption, "Love Lives On," installed near the entrance of the chapel where Emily and Daniel had exchanged vows. It quickly became a popular spot for visitors to pause and reflect. For their parents, navigating life without their children remained a delicate balancing act between grief and gratitude. They found comfort in seeing how Emily and Daniel's legacy touched so many lives, yet moments of sadness inevitably arose, triggered by familiar sights or sounds. Holidays were especially difficult, reminders of milestones missed and traditions left unfulfilled. Still, they chose to focus on the joy their children had brought into the world, rather than dwell on what might have been. Family gatherings often included sharing favorite memories or watching home videos, activities that brought laughter alongside tears. Over time, these rituals helped transform raw pain into something more manageable, a bittersweet blend of longing and appreciation. Even strangers touched by Emily and Daniel's story found ways to contribute, proving that their influence extended far beyond those who knew them personally. Social media challenges encouraging random acts of kindness gained traction worldwide, with participants tagging posts, "Live like Emily and Daniel." Stories poured in from all corners of the globe, people helping stranded motorists, surprising co-workers with thoughtful gestures, or volunteering at shelters in their free time. Artists created sculptures and paintings inspired by the couple's love, donating proceeds to the foundation. Musicians composed songs capturing the essence of their bond, melodies that resonated deeply with listeners regardless of language or culture. Through these collective efforts, Emily and Daniel's spirit thrived, transcending borders and uniting humanity in shared purpose. As the years rolled on, their story evolved into a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding everyone involved that even in the darkest moments, light could emerge. Schools incorporated discussions about infrastructure safety into science classes, challenging students to think critically about systems shaping their daily lives. Teachers used Emily and Daniel's narrative to illustrate real-world consequences of neglect, empowering young minds to advocate for change. Student-led initiatives blossomed across campuses, from podcasts exploring public safety issues to fundraisers supporting related causes. One group even partnered with engineers to design low-cost tools for detecting gas leaks, earning accolades at national competitions. Their success underscored the transformative power of inspiration fueled by loss. Despite the progress made, the ache of losing Emily and Daniel lingered, surfacing during unexpected moments. Songs playing on the radio, stray comments about weddings, or even glances at old photographs could trigger waves of emotion. Yet amidst the sorrow lay gratitude for the time they had shared, the lessons they taught, and the love they embodied. Their story challenged people to be better, to cherish relationships, fight for justice, and build a world where tragedies like this wouldn't happen again. And while nothing could erase the heartache of losing such remarkable individuals, their memory lived on, in the hearts of those who loved them, in the causes they championed, and in the countless lives they inspired to make a difference. Emily and Daniel may have been taken too soon, but their love story continued to shine brightly, lighting the way for others to follow. Through it all, the foundation stood as a beacon of solace and inspiration, proving that even in the face of unimaginable loss, hope could prevail. Its work reminded everyone involved that while death ends a life, it does not sever relationships. Bonds forged with those we love endure, shaping us in ways we may not fully understand until called upon to honor their memory. For Emily and Daniel's family and friends, this truth was both a comfort and a call to action, a reminder that though they were gone, their legacy would live forever. As the years passed, Emily and Daniel's story became more than just a memory. It evolved into a movement, a call to action that transcended generations. The foundation bearing their names continued to grow, its reach extending far beyond what anyone could have imagined in those early days of grief. What started as a small effort to honor their legacy had transformed into a nationwide initiative capable of driving real change. Communities rallied around the cause, inspired not only by the tragedy itself, but also by the resilience and determination shown by those who refused to let it define them. People from all walks of life joined hands, united by a shared belief that love, kindness, and accountability could pave the way for a brighter future. The scholarship program remained at the heart of the Foundation's mission, providing opportunities for countless young people determined to make a difference. Each year brought new stories of success, students graduating at the top of their classes, researchers developing groundbreaking technologies, and first responders saving lives in emergencies. One recipient, a young woman named Ava, went on to become a leading advocate for renewable energy after completing her degree in environmental engineering. She credited Emily and Daniel with giving her the courage to pursue her dreams, saying, "Their story taught me that even in darkness, we can find light and use it to guide others." Another scholar, a firefighter named Liam, led rescue efforts during a major gas leak incident, preventing a disaster eerily similar to the one that claimed Emily and Daniel's lives. These achievements served as reminders that every act of remembrance carried the potential to spark meaningful change. Beyond scholarships, the Foundation launched innovative projects aimed at fostering unity and healing. One such initiative involved creating memory gardens in cities across the country, spaces designed to honor loved ones lost to preventable tragedies while promoting mental health awareness. These serene oases featured winding paths lined with benches, vibrant flower beds, and reflective pools where visitors could sit quietly or leave notes for those they missed. Plaques scattered throughout the gardens bore quotes about love, resilience, and hope, many drawn directly from Emily and Daniel's letters and journals. The gardens quickly became popular destinations, drawing people seeking solace or inspiration. Some came alone, others brought family members or friends, sharing stories and finding comfort in shared experiences. In addition to physical spaces, the Foundation embraced technology to amplify its message. A mobile app was developed, allowing users to report safety concerns like strange odors or visible pipeline damage with just a few taps. The app also provided educational resources, including videos, articles, and interactive quizzes, empowering individuals to take an active role in safeguarding their communities. Within months of its launch, thousands of reports poured in, prompting investigations that uncovered several high-risk areas before accidents occurred. Testimonials flooded social media, with users praising the app for making them feel safer and more informed. For many, it was a tangible reminder that Emily and Daniel's legacy lived on, not just in words but in actions that saved lives. Legal victories achieved through the lawsuits against the utility company set precedents that rippled through industries worldwide. Companies once resistant to change began adopting stricter safety protocols voluntarily, recognizing the financial and reputational risks associated with negligence. Training programs for employees emphasized the importance of vigilance and responsibility, ensuring that workers understood their roles in preventing disasters. Public hearings held regularly allowed citizens to voice concerns and hold corporations accountable, fostering transparency and trust. Media coverage highlighted these developments, often referencing Emily and Daniel's case as a turning point in the fight for public safety. Their names became synonymous with progress, inspiring lawmakers and activists alike to push for reforms that prioritized human life above profit. Back in the town where Emily and Daniel grew up, their presence continued to shape daily life in profound ways. Local businesses displayed posters featuring their smiling faces alongside messages encouraging customers to report suspicious activity. Schools incorporated lessons about infrastructure safety into science curriculums, using real-world examples to teach critical thinking skills. Teachers encouraged students to reflect on how they could embody the couple's values of compassion and determination. Student-led initiatives flourished, from podcasts exploring public safety issues to fundraisers supporting related causes. One particularly impactful project saw high school seniors partnering with engineers to design low-cost tools for detecting gas leaks, earning national recognition for their ingenuity. Their success underscored the transformative power of inspiration, fueled by loss. For Emily and Daniel's families, navigating life without them remained a delicate balance between grief and gratitude. While the pain of their absence never fully disappeared, moments of joy emerged unexpectedly, a child's laughter echoing through the house, a favorite song playing on the radio, or even the sight of two strangers holding hands. These fleeting glimpses of happiness reminded them that love endures, shaping everything it touches long after it seems to fade. Family gatherings often included sharing favorite memories or watching home videos, activities that brought laughter alongside tears. Over time, these rituals helped transform raw pain into something more manageable, a bittersweet blend of longing and appreciation. Even strangers touched by Emily and Daniel's story found ways to contribute, proving that their influence extended far beyond those who knew them personally. Social media challenges encouraging random acts of kindness gained traction globally, with participants tagging posts, live like Emily and Daniel. Stories poured in from all corners of the world. People helping stranded motorists, surprising co-workers with thoughtful gestures, or volunteering at shelters in their free time. Artists created sculptures and paintings inspired by the couple's love, donating proceeds to the foundation. Musicians composed songs capturing the essence of their bond, melodies that resonated deeply with listeners regardless of language or culture. Through these collective efforts, Emily and Daniel's spirit thrived, transcending borders and uniting humanity in shared purpose. As the years rolled on, their story evolved into a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding everyone involved that even in the darkest moments, light could emerge. Schools incorporated discussions about infrastructure safety into science classes, challenging students to think critically about systems shaping their daily lives. Teachers used Emily and Daniel's narrative to illustrate real-world consequences of neglect, empowering young minds to advocate for change. Student-led initiatives blossomed across campuses, from podcasts exploring public safety issues to fundraisers supporting related causes. One group even partnered with engineers to design low-cost tools for detecting gas leaks, earning accolades at national competitions. Their success underscored the transformative power of inspiration fueled by loss. Despite the progress made, the ache of losing Emily and Daniel lingered, surfacing during unexpected moments. Songs playing on the radio, stray comments about weddings, or even glances at old photographs could trigger waves of emotion. Yet amidst the sorrow lay gratitude for the time they had shared, the lessons they taught, and the love they embodied. Their story challenged people to be better, to cherish relationships, fight for justice, and build a world where tragedies like this wouldn't happen again. And while nothing could erase the heartache of losing such remarkable individuals, their memory lived on, in the hearts of those who loved them, in the causes they championed, and in the countless lives they inspired to make a difference. Emily and Daniel may have been taken too soon, but their love story continued to shine brightly, lighting the way for others to follow. Through it all, the foundation stood as a beacon of solace and inspiration, proving that even in the face of unimaginable loss, hope could prevail. Its work reminded everyone involved that while death ends a life, it does not sever relationships. Bonds forged with those we love endure, shaping us in ways we may not fully understand until called upon to honor their memory. For Emily and Daniel's family and friends, this truth was both a comfort and a call to action, a reminder that though they were gone, their legacy would live forever. Their love had sparked a chain reaction of kindness, advocacy, and transformation, ensuring that their story would continue to inspire for generations to come.